Welcome, everybody, to the Final Whistle, episode 10. If you've been following along with us as we stumble through, those of you that are Browns fans, you'll get that reference. If you watch some Sunday Night Football, you'll also get that reference. We've been trying to score touchdowns just like Trevor Lawrence did throughout our stumbles. If you stumbled here onto our 10th episode, like Magomed Ankalaev stumbled on that knockout, welcome in, join. I do want to start by saying I am Mark. That is Kyle. Again, we are the Final Whistle podcast. Before we get started, before I check in on my guy Kyle, I do want to remind everyone here. Please be respectful and keep everything in the comments. Sports. This is a sports podcast. You don't have to like our takes, but be mindful of others' takes. Be mindful of those that may be trying to learn what takes we have and things like that. And let's keep it sports. Let's keep it respectful, and let's keep it fun. Kyle, how are we doing? Episode 10. Welcome in.
Yeah, episode 10, you nailed it right on the head, Mark. Please be respectful at all times when we're doing this podcast. We're very happy you guys are here. For those who are watching from the outside, if you're watching from the outside, come on in, stay a while. Let's have some fun today. But what a weekend it was, as we have a lot to get over. Well, we think we have a lot to get over because we had a whole show planned, and then Browns news happened yesterday, and then college football, the great sport of college football, happened on Saturday. So we're going to see what we get to and the span of how long we think we're going to go. So what a day, and what a couple of weeks, days it's been since we last spoke with you all last Wednesday. We'll start with the big news of the day that got Cleveland fans talking. I'm sure the football world talking. Joe Flacco has been traded to the Cincinnati Bengals for a 2026 fifth round pick, and the Browns traded a 2026 sixth round pick. So it was very interesting to see what was happening with that, Mark. And I don't know where to begin because it's been a big debate since this trade happened. I'll let you have the floor to start with this one.
Yeah, I mean, as you and I talked, and as my fiance reacted to that news there, what a traitor! What a traitor! He goes right down the highway to Cincinnati. I mean, I understand it, I guess, a little bit when it comes to trading him. You benched him. You really can't go back to him as being a starter. I guess Gabriel didn't play horrible, all things considered. He's kind of a game manager. You kind of saw what he has there, but I mean, you basically sent him down to Cincinnati, where he has no O line really. But now it turns into, what's the plan with Sanders?
Receivers that can catch the ball.
Yeah, no kidding. You have receivers down there that'll catch the ball. Joe is okay with throwing 50 times a game. He's been doing it all season so far this year. He's going to be running around for his life, obviously, with no O-line down there. However, when it comes to that, I mean, I do understand it. I understand why you trade him, since you can't really go back from Dylan or from any of the other kids. Now it's really just about, what do you do with Sanders? I personally think he should be QB2. That also gives the point that we talked about with Dennis, is when do you next then see when do you next see Deshaun Watson come back? There's already been speculation that he's been working out with the team. He's been looking good in the workouts that Barry and Stefanski have seen. So when is the next time that you see Deshaun Watson? Obviously, you're going to see him at some point this year. Otherwise, why would you trade Flacco at that point in time and get rid of any veteran leadership in the building for those rookies?
Yeah. First off, Alex, we don't know if it's going to be 2 hours special. Probably won't. Probably be our normal time. Sean, welcome in. But I just think I just reading these comments. Comments are hilarious. But these I'm gonna go. I think Watson's gonna play before Sanders. I think Sanders is gonna. I don't think he's ready. And we on this. People are on this Sanders bandwagon. But what really has he done? He really hasn't. He hasn't really jumped up to the roster, because you look. Why is he not the number one? Why didn't he start in London if he's ready to go? Everybody's like, I can't read these comments, but it's weird. It's frustrating, because if he's ready to go, Mark, I'll ask you this, because I know you're on the Sanders bandwagon. Why do you think, if he's ready to go, why isn't he starting? Because
I mean, and so
if he's if he's ready to go, he should be starting. No, if the season's a lost cause, start him, see what you got. But now you got this going. You got, I don't know. The people that talk about I get it. You want to give him a shot, but at the same time, if he's not ready, you guys are too much. You guys are. I don't know. He's not ready, and I don't think he'll be ready because I think he's going to fail. In all honesty.
I mean, yeah, well, I can see where you're taking it that way. At the same time, if you think about it, and Stefanski has actually talked about it. There's a multiple other media outlets that have talked about it. Why make him the backup quarterback and make him play off of Gabriel's game plan? Him and Dylan Gabriel, two completely different quarterbacks. They have two completely different skill sets. Dylan Gabriel's like what 4'5" or something like that. You can't even see over the O line. Sanders is a little bit taller. So you want to give him a full week of game planning, I feel like, before you want to straight up say, here you go, like here's the keys in the case that Gabriel does the inevitable that I know he's going to do here in the next couple of weeks. Throw 2 picks, probably pick 6.
I don't even like Gabriel.
Uh,
He played garbage. He played like he can't throw the long ball. A couple long balls he threw right over the receiver. Said now a couple were in coverage, so we'll give him that. But still, at the same time, he's got to hit those. Okay, he threw a 10-yard touchdown. What they do? Anybody could throw that pass. Tom Brady could throw that. Everybody could throw that. Even
and he was wide open. It was a great play design, honestly.
Yeah, he threaded the needle, cut touchdown. Congrats to him. But it's I don't like him either. I think we did a terrible job, and now you got to wonder who's making these calls because we know Stefanski's all set on Flacco until they got to London, and all of a sudden they flipped it to Gabriel for some weird reason, whether it was the front office calling the shots or if he legitimately said no, we're going to go with Flacco, but they kept him in the game. And Stefanski's a terrible coach too. Who's going to come? A quarterback's not going to get developed by him. He blew that game on Sunday.
Yep.
He blew that game because what are you doing down? You're up with like 3 minutes left. They have one timeout and you throw the ball. Why are you throwing the ball? Why are you throwing the ball on third down?
Especially when he loves to run the ball anyways.
Yeah, Juckin's been running good all day. You've been taking the pressure off him to get the ball or to put in the ball in his hands, and he had a great game. And now you say, well, and agree, Sean, Kevin is the reason we only have 1 win. He lost us that. Well, I would say the kicker probably lost us the Cincinnati game, but he lost us this game. You could be easily sitting 2-3, have a real shot at that division, real shot, to turn the season around. Look at the Patriots. No one thought they're 2-3. They just beat the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo the other day. So it's frustrating. It's frustrating. Kevin's got to go, and you're not going to develop a quarterback with Kevin here. I'm sorry.
I don't disagree, and and for those of you, obviously, Kyle and I have talked about it on the pod a couple of times recently. But those of you that watch the Pat McAfee show, there's even a legendary coach, Bruce Arians, literally saying he doesn't understand how he still has a job. If that doesn't tell you something at this point in time, what honestly will? We're sticking with the guy, and I understand there's all the arguments about he's a multiple-time coach of the year, et cetera, et cetera. But when push comes to shove and you have things like this happening, like you're blowing games as a coach and as a seasoned coach at that, this is what, his 3rd or 4th year or something like that? At the end of the day, if you're a seasoned coach, how do you make that? Like, how do you make that decision, especially when you have a rookie quarterback? And
he's really a stickler in the front office, or not front office, but his press conference. We got to do better. We got to, I'm not going to answer that. Like, he's really like, I can't say it on here, something to his back that like he can't say. And someone brought up the other on another text chain I'm in. What about John Gruden? Okay, you bring someone like that in, but he's not going to listen to the front office and tell the front office what to do. And then you get like Stefanski. He's listening to the front office. He's not making decisions for what's best for a team. He's listening. That's why we're stuck in this QB position where we are, because he doesn't know who to play without getting repercussions from upper management, and it's frustrating. And people that I know are Shedeur fans and probably don't like our take as much, but I that's how I feel. You cannot have a front office running the football team when you should just stay out of it. Do the drafting, do what you want, the coaches want, do what you best is right for the team. But when it comes to quarterback play, okay, you had Flacco, so what? Flacco's in there. Who cares? Okay, you want to give the kids a shot? Give it a shot in a couple weeks when they're officially out of it. Now you're getting Gabriel a shot. Shedeur is not going to be number 2 this week. He ain't going to be number 2 this week.
They're saying they're going to sign Zappy to the 53 and give him that. And I don't understand that either.
Because he's not ready. Shedeur's not ready. If he was ready, he's starting that. He's either starting today or last week or he's starting this week. Because now you look at a situation, okay, it's week 18. The Bengals, let's hypothetically, we played the Bengals. I was looking at the schedule. They played the Bengals week 18, okay, or 17, wherever they play week 17. And those teams have clinched a spot, so they're sitting guys to rest and get them ready for the playoffs. So it's frustrating. Like, okay, Shador comes in, he has a heck of a game, and it's like, okay, what do we get out of it? Playing second and third stringers? Nothing. So if you're gonna play him, you got to play him now. But I don't think he's gonna play. If he was ready, he would play now. I'm just saying.
I mean,
I'm
I
just
can see both sides of the spectrum. I genuinely hope, what's it called? I genuinely hope that at the end of the day, he obviously sees that. I mean, you got to see what's in that room no matter what. You have to see what's in that room no matter what. You have to play him at some point. I don't understand the whole song and dance when it comes to what's it called? I don't understand what the whole song and dance is with him and playing this game where it's just, oh, he's still going to be a number three. He's still going to be a number three. I don't really understand that. You're gonna like you got to see what the kid has before the next draft, especially when you have
and
two first round
I
picks.
and yes, Steve, I don't mind. Give him a chance, but he's not ready. If he's ready, we're not questioning where he's going to be on the depth chart. We're questioning him on the depth chart. He's a number three. And I just saw a report from Rappaport. I don't know if it came out earlier today or whatever, but but he might not even be active. So, and we got other people telling us he doesn't know the playbook. You don't have dad there to help you out. So I don't know. He might not play the whole season. If you don't play the whole season and we draft the quarterback, he's getting traded. They're keeping Gabriel. That's my Hot take. Gabriel staying. He's gone. He's going somewhere. And his ego. I think his ego's getting a little bit of karma because remember, if the story's true, he backed out. He backed out of the Ravens because I get it. You want to play, that's fine, but you had a better situation there. You sit behind Lamar, you get developed, and then maybe they trade you to somewhere to go play. You
Yeah.
said no to them. Now maybe it's a little football karma. Now you're not playing. You're stuck at the number 3 spot because your ego gone away, or maybe a better situation for he could have been playing right now but Lamar hurt. So it's frustrating.
Yeah, it's definitely extremely frustrating to say the least. But I mean,
Like
we'll see.
but I don't know. It's frustrating.
We'll see how long he lasts. To be honest, like I wouldn't be surprised if they got rid of him before the end of the season. I know that's not really the Browns' MO, but I wouldn't be surprised if it keeps going this way. If he ended up being gone before the end of the season.
Give him a
Stefanski, I mean.
chance. I mean, if we're out of it, give Shador a chance by all means. But I just don't understand the people clamoring for him. You just got to read between the lines. Something's going on that he's not ready to go yet. If he's, like I said, maybe it's the play, maybe it's something else going on. So I don't know. It's frustrating. So we'll see how that goes. As the Browns did lose 21-17 in a very frustrating game. Defense looked sluggish. They looked sluggish. I don't know if it was just from the time zone change or from game one being on the field almost every minute of every game because the offense couldn't move the ball, and you could tell it just defense is wearing down. And I don't think Jim Schwartz is. I don't know. A lot of overthrows from Dylan, and it's just critical play calling by Kevin. You're easily 2-3 right now if Kevin doesn't blow that. Most of it, I think, is on the play call or on game management, to say the least.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, Steve Zappi's not going to start. He's not starting, but I mean,
He could be QB2.
You just got to read between the lines. That's all I got to say. Read between the lines. You never know. So that's the story of the Browns. Might as well stick with the NFL while we're on the topic. We're going to go to Denver and Philly as Denver defeated Philly 21-17 and interesting game. The Philly collapse finally caught up to them. Their defense could not hold off a struggling Denver for 3.5 quarters almost.
Yeah,
they were not even. They couldn't even get a touchdown. It was all field goals, but they collapsed it again. You saw they were trying to get AJ Brown involved, and there was a lot of overthrows to him. Was it on that? Was it on purpose? We don't know, but very interesting, Mark, that Philly did lose to a struggling Denver team that felt that Philly did fall apart later in the game.
I mean, yeah, I don't disagree. We all knew that this was going to come and happen to them at some point. Denver does have one of the better defenses in the NFL. It's really just about Bo Nix, Sean Payton, and that offense catching up, in my personal opinion. I mean, they're getting better week by week. I think Denver and the Browns actually have. I think honestly, Denver and the Browns have similar mindsets when it comes to the team. They just have a better coach. They play behind their defense and they let their offense kind of come and play on the back end, game manage as much as they possibly can. I agree. It was going to come back with Philly again. Philly is playing that style they did a couple of years ago, where they're winning those really close, really weird games, and then it ends up catching up to them. And it's again the same song and dance where they're not being able to get AJ Brown involved for whatever reason. You're hearing all this stuff coming out of there that they're having locker room problems, locker room talks with him. Barkley hasn't really gotten going either. So I mean, you really do wonder all over again, just like a couple of years ago, what's going on in Philly. I mean, granted, at the same time, like I said, we said that a couple of years ago, and then they ended up winning Super Bowl. So I mean, they definitely have the team to do it, but they definitely have some soul searching to do, as their star players seem to not only not be happy, but their base history is repeating itself with them a little bit here, where they're basically losing these close games, or they're starting their downfall now, where their defense is on the field too much, and their offense isn't able to catch up, and they're not able to get on the same page for whatever reason. So they're going to be a team to watch here in the next couple of weeks if they really start to slip. I mean, they could find themselves in a bad predicament.
Yeah, is it locker room chemistry at this point, knowing that AJ Brown is somewhat unhappy, knowing that he's not getting involved as much, and they try to get him involved, as you saw, as we mentioned, a couple deep passes, but is this defense of Philly is going to be the demise? Because they came close the last couple weeks of losing games due to a collapse, but their offense bailed them out. The offense was able to bail them out as Denver buckled or tightened up and kind of made the adjustment, shut down Barkley, shut down Hurts's run game, and was able to let the secondary do their work. And we'll see it. We'll see how that goes, because Denver's got it could go two straight as they're going to the Jets this week. As talk about as we got some Colts comments and everything, but yeah, I like the Colts. I don't think they'll be a downfall. I think they're going to be sneak in. They're going to contest. It's going to be between them and Houston. Well, maybe Jacksonville now. One of them could be getting left out, depending on how the rest of the AFC goes. Because now you got Patriots coming up, but it's very interesting what Lou Anarumo, who was at the Cincinnati D. Maybe that's why the Cincinnati defense is kind of struggling a little bit without him. But we know another reason why without Joe Burrow. But it's very interesting with the situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think that division as a whole, the Colts, the Jags, I think it's who else is in there? The Texans, who are also starting to heat up. I mean, the Titans are the Titans. We all know where they're going to end up. But at the end of the day, between the Jags, the Texans, and the Colts, that division all of a sudden is one of the better divisions in the AFC altogether, which is a surprise to me. Obviously, the Colts do have a really good defense, but their offense is playing well. You got Jonathan Taylor in the backfield, and as long as Daniel Jones doesn't turn the ball over, you've got a lot of young weapons. Tyler Warren, potentially. I mean, if Igbuka wasn't going as crazy as he was in Tampa, Tyler Warren would be probably up there for Offensive Rookie of the Year so far. You just have a guy that's playing like a 15-year veteran, like all the way down there in Tampa. But when it comes to, the Colts alone, their defense is good, and they have young and explosive weapons there. So as long as Daniel Jones doesn't turn back to a pumpkin, I think they have a real shot. And I don't really see them slipping up too much because their coach is also pretty good as well.
Yeah, I like their chances. Maybe at least thinking as a wild card. We don't. Houston kind of came on, but with the Dallas or not Dallas, the Baltimore defense that's been struggling with all the injuries, and obviously the team that they could be facing a 1-5 deficit coming up this weekend against the Rams. So the Rams could be very angry after losing that Thursday night game. So that'd be very interesting to see how they go. This is a 3-team race in that division. If the Jags could pull off a win over the Seahawks, if they could pull off a win over the Seahawks, this is going to be a very interesting division because Seattle or Jaguars be at 5-1. Comparing, and if Colts would be 5-1 if they beat the Cardinals, and then Houston. Who does Houston? Houston's got forgot who they got this week, but they're playing. They're going to be a very very interesting race down the stretch. Could get 3 teams in depending on how because it looked like the AFC North is only going to get 1 team in right now.
Yeah, whoever wins the division, which I mean, who really knows at this point?
Yeah, and it could be the AFC East could have 2 teams depending on how the Patriots do after a stunning win. Bye week, okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. I didn't see them on the schedule, so they got a bye, so they get rest, and then they get their full-fledged on the rest of the season. But that's an interesting division to keep your eye on because you just never know how that football works. Because AFC South's been ran by Houston. Yeah, Houston came out. We'll see how Houston does after the bye week when they get their guys back. But CJ Stroud's starting to come out a little bit, but we shall see on that. So we move on to another game. What a game this was. Tampa versus Seattle in Seattle, as Tampa Bay did win that shootout, as pulling up, as we talk about every time we bring him up, pulling the Band-Aid off the wound, and Baker Mayfield does it again. And it's very interesting how it works out that way. And I don't know. It's just we talk about quarterbacks, and then we had one in Baker Mayfield who just literally shows us why we probably shouldn't have got rid of him, and why some Browns fans ran him out of town.
Yeah, I mean he definitely is he's definitely is showing up again. Um I do honestly think that he went to the perfect situation. He's got so many weapons down there in Tampa. But I mean, he's playing like he did when he was here to that when he led us to the playoffs that one year. He has the same type of moxie as he did that year. He's playing the same type of good football. He is taking risks, so we'll see if that ends up biting him down the stretch. If you notice, he's kind of back to that gunslinger mentality that everybody loves him for, but at the same time, it can
Yeah.
result in turnovers. So you got to watch. But I actually want to highlight Tampa Bay's defense, who nobody's really talking about. They got older and then kind of fell off for a while, but they've been playing good football too, all things considered. The Seahawks didn't look bad. I honestly didn't know who was going to win that game between Igbuka and Jackson Smith-Njigba on the other side. They were basically going bar for bar on who was going to make a bigger play on that on a drive. So I mean, that game was a banger of a game. Baker knows how to win, and he found a way. And I think Emeka Ibuka is not only rookie of the year, but people are talking about honestly Baker in MVP talks. If he wins an MVP outside of Cleveland, I mean,
Hats
I think
off to
that'll
him.
just shatter the Browns once and for all.
Yeah, and it's just gonna keep pouring salt on the wounds, because we have these type of quarterbacks. We don't think we ran him out. That's pretty much what I say. We ran him out. We didn't. He got us that COVID win in the playoffs, and then that was about it. After that, and he played with a broken shoulder with us. But yeah, I agree. JSN, both offenses were very good, and it's gonna be
Yeah,
these two got some very interesting matchups this week that we're gonna get into in just a little bit. Tampa's got San Francisco, and Seattle's got Jacksonville. Those are two interesting games to keep
yeah,
an eye on.
especially that Jacksonville
I
game
don't
because
know.
San Francisco's hit or miss, especially with their injuries. You never know who
Yeah.
they're going to field, but that Jacksonville game was a sneaky good game all of a sudden, and Trevor Lawrence is playing with confidence. So the watch out between him and Baker, that could be a big time duel to say the least.
Yeah, who knows, because we didn't think what Jacksonville was going to do to Kansas City, and Kansas City went in there. And let's talk about Chris Jones for a minute. That was very interesting. I don't know. I'm sure you saw, what was he doing on that last play? He was literally just sitting there watching
Yeah,
Lawrence. That, like, what are you doing on that play? Like, you may not get him, but at least show some effort. Like, come on now. Like, I get it, he's a veteran, and probably be like, okay, whatever. But that was very weird. As I didn't get as they highlighted it, I didn't notice it until the next day. And you're looking and walking. I'm like, what is he doing here? But that's very interesting. As Jacksonville did win that game, that was an interesting game. But yeah, agreed. Very terrible effort, and he just I don't know. He just looked lost.
yeah.
But
Well, it looked like I wouldn't even say lost. It honestly looked like he checked out. It looked like he thought the play was over after Lawrence stumbled, and that was just that. And then, I mean, I wonder if he forgot what the NFL rules were or what, because I mean he wasn't touched, so he could keep running. But yeah, I mean I agree, terrible effort, and I mean that one's just as much on him as it is everybody else.
yeah, so Jacksonville is 4-1. One of the interesting stories to keep following along in the NFL this year. We'll see how that goes. Let's talk about this game. I know a lot of people in the football. Yeah, agree. He just stood there, Steve. A lot of people in the football world are surprised. Texans defeated the Ravens 44-10. What is going on with the Ravens? The Ravens are. We don't know. We know they're out without Lamar. They're without their injuries. It's very, very interesting, Mark, that we're seeing maybe one of those seasons with the Ravens that could be maybe an historic record wise if it continues to go in this way.
Yeah, I mean I don't disagree. I know I can't remember if it was last week or the week before, but I talked about it like when teams have that much pressure for that many years in a row, eventually, I mean, you're either going to rise to the occasion or you're going to burst under it. It seems like they're kind of bursting under that pressure a little bit. At the end of the day, what ends up happening is I mean, They're obviously injury ridden. Their defense is all over the place with injuries. You're losing basically your best players on both sides of the field, with Lamar on the offensive side, and I believe they're missing Kyle Hamilton again this week on the defensive side, which really hurts. Plus a couple of DBs. You're also missing. I know he's older, but you're missing pass rushers that are experienced, like Van Noy and things like that. So I
Yeah.
mean, you're kind of looking at an epic collapse compared to what they were supposed to be at the beginning of the season. And because they've been so bad and so injury ridden, the AFC North is now still wide open for anybody to take. Nobody's really, nobody's really taking control. Even the Steelers are probably the most healthy team. The Browns being the least talented team. Both of those teams are still in it. The Bengals are still in it, and they're already on their third quarterback now. So I mean, it's crazy to think about. But the Ravens definitely had a fall from grace. I think also, I think it was Dan Orlovsky pointed out that they're running the ball only 40% of the play calling times. Why are they throwing the ball so much when you have Derrick Henry and you have the weapons that you have in the
Something's not right
backfield?
with him either. I don't know if it's the fumbles scaring him or everybody's knowing they're going to run the ball with him, so they're stacking the box. But after those two fumbles, after those two fumbles, he had a good game to start the season. After that, he's just been out of nowhere. He's just been kind of MIA. We don't know if the fumbles have gone to him, if they just know they're stacking a box and they're kind of containing him. It's just interesting, like the fall off he's having when he got a touchdown against Houston, like pretty much in garbage time almost.
Yeah,
Is the score was at that point, but it's very weird. It's don't know if there maybe is he hurt that he's just trying to play through it because Lamar's out or
yeah.
I,
There's definitely something going on there because why would you only call run plays at 40% at a 40% clip when you have a backup quarterback and that good of a running back in the backfield who at the beginning of the season, came out the gates running. So I'm like I understand he's had his fumble problems which aren't normal for him, but at the same time, like, is he hurt or is play call? Are they trying to let Lamar win on his own and put his cape on? It's definitely very interesting in a story to watch moving forward as they do get healthier as Lamar comes back and as that defense comes back. Do they start running the ball more, or ultimately do they end up being at a point where I mean they just fold it up and try again next year?
Yeah, and I doubt they'll fold up. But no, I agree. I get you got thrown your behind, but not like before that. Like a couple games before, like he just look off. Like those fumbles, like I don't know if it spooked him. Like he knows he's not that kind of player where he just fumbles. So I
Yeah.
don't know if it's in his head or there's some going on that we don't think, but it's gonna come out eventually at some point if there is, and we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But Houston looked the part, even though they took advantage of that defense that was vulnerable and hurt. So they threw the ball. They looked like the Houston that we thought they would, that would get into the playoffs this year.
Yep.
They might still, if they could go on a little run, but we'll see how
sometimes
it goes down
sometimes
the road.
games like that against a broken defense is all you need to kickstart your season too, though. So I mean, be careful for that because if we've seen Stroud hit his stride before, and when he's hot, at the end of the day, he's going to be hard to stop, especially as those weapons get going down there in Houston.
Yeah, and they got to buy, and sometimes you don't want to buy with how good you're playing. You want to keep going, and you don't want to stop because that kind of loses the fire you guys they got. So very
Right.
interesting to see how the Texans come out of this and what the Ravens do this week against the Rams because the Rams are going to be very kind of in a bad mood after losing to a JV San Francisco 49er team on Thursday
Yep.
Night Football in overtime. When that's another questionable coach's decision with that like I don't know. There's a lot of questionable coaching decisions. Like sometimes it just leaves you speechless what these coaches do sometimes.
Yeah, I agree, and it's almost similar to it's like they try to outcoach themselves instead of out like they think they're in this coaching duel with the other coach on their sideline, and then they end up overdoing it and outdoing their own selves. It doesn't really make very much sense. It doesn't have very much rhyme or reason to it. And then, like you see all this weekend, they ended up at a point where at the end of the day, they end up losing games because of bad coaching decisions when they try to get too cute, too funny, too whatever. When all you had to do was stick to your game plan and stick to the basics.
Yeah, so it's a lot of questionable coaching decisions, a lot of questionable play, a lot of very interesting games. When we thought this was going to be a very kind of low type of week last weekend, it looked like to be one of the best shaping up. So this is going to be very interesting to see how this goes this week coming up. So we're going to pick some games before we move back to the college ranks. We were going to do Browns and Steelers, but I think we know which way we're all going to go, even though we don't want to be. But I think I'm going to go Steelers, just how this game's going to play out for picks wise. Mark's probably going Steelers.
Yeah,
Picks.
unfortunately, I think the Steelers do win that and win that one pretty handily. If I had to guess, um, I mean, I that defense is still good no matter which way you slice it, and I believe Tomlin has a really good record against rookie quarterbacks as well. So I assume that Gabriel's going to look just as bad, if not worse, and we probably take another loss, and then we're back to the drawing board, figuring out who's going to be our quarterback next week, and the drama continues.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Gabriel unless they make the decision. But or front office make a decision because Stefanski's got nothing to do with this. I could probably guarantee you. Because like we said with Flacco, he wanted Flacco, and then we switched it up. So very interesting to see. We're going Steelers, so we're not going to dive into that one. We probably shouldn't dive into this one because I think we know where this is going to go. But Rams Ravens was one of the highlight games we thought because all the other games are kind of teams playing each other like Titans and Raiders. Like that's but I think we're both going to go Rams here on this one. Unless the Ravens somehow have this spectacular game without Lamar. Lamar didn't practice today, so that could tell you one thing. And Henry, I don't know. I think Rams win this one. Probably maybe
Yeah,
comfortably again. Do they get blown out of their own building again for a second straight week?
probably, especially if I mean, does anybody know is Kyle Hamilton even playing this week? Because not only who is going to guard Puka, but who's going to guard Devonte Adams also. They have no DBs left. So I mean, I think the Rams could honestly blow this one out of the water at the end of the day and go from there.
That's what we don't get when we're recording. We don't get these comments. We're glad you guys are with us. In all seriousness, we're glad you're having fun in the comments. Came in a conversation, the chat moving. We enjoy it for the likes. This is hopefully the first of many to come, whether it's on here or YouTube. We'll get into that a little bit later on. But yeah, I'm going with the Rams. I just until the Ravens prove otherwise, Henry gets back to form a little bit. I don't see them winning this game. Maybe they keep it close, but the Ravens voodoo. But I think Rams win it. So. See, Seattle, Jacksonville. Who thought when this game started, or when the season started, this game would be a game to kind of keep the eyes on and talk about? This was hard for me. I don't know. I don't know. Seattle has a good offense. Jacksonville's kind of training with that good defense. This is tough. I think I'm going Jacksonville. I think I'm going to take Jacksonville in this one. I think Seattle, they got an okay run game. They have that dual threat with Walker and Charbonnet. They get good passing attack, but I like Jack. Some tells me about Jacksonville. They're at home again this week, and a short week. I think they're coming off, but with a huge win, could that play momentum in the drink? A momentum type of game where you're feeling it. Do they have that hangover? But I think I'm going Jacksonville.
Yeah,
I
I'm
like
actually going the
Jacksonville. Yep.
opposite way. I like Seattle's offense. You have Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet. JSN has had a great breakout year so far. Darnold's still playing well. You have weapons over there, and they're still playing good defense. So I honestly I like Seattle. I like Seattle in a close one. I um I don't really like I don't I don't really like Jacksonville coming off of a short week. I think especially when you beat
Yeah.
a team that you really weren't supposed to beat in the way that they beat them, that probably hurts you more than it helps you. Especially again, like I said, coming off a short week and you're playing a highly touted offense. I think Jacksonville takes this one, but I do think it's a close game, and I agree with your sentiment. Who would have thought that honestly at the beginning of the season a Jacksonville Seattle Seahawks game. I think they're both 4-1 or 5-1 this week coming in. Who would have thought this would be on anybody's list, let alone one of the NFL's best games of the week so far?
Yeah, it was a toss up for me. I still, like I said, I think Jacksonville does win it. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It's gonna be tough. Depends. If it could be another shootout. If it's a shootout like Seattle got into, that could maybe say something about their defense, especially coming off. Maybe Seattle's defense does settle in. It's not facing that high-powered offense, but I guess we will see how that goes this Sunday in Jacksonville. Another big one down in Florida, the 49ers and the Bucks. This is kind of an interesting type of game. We didn't think 49ers would have the 4-1 record that they have now against the Bucks. I think I'm leaning Bucks here. It sounds like Ricky Pearsall's not going to play. The Kyle Shanahan said today he doesn't think Pearsall will play. It doesn't look great, so I think I'm going Bucks here. Tampa takes it this weekend, and think the 49ers injury starts to catch up to him.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, they just don't have the offensive weapons at the end of the day. I think to be able to really get over to the Bucks, and the Bucks are, I mean, the Bucks are just winning games. Baker's playing the best that he's probably ever played so far. The Bucks defense is still going to be good. Is Evans playing this week, or is he still out? Because that's also going to be a big indicator as well. If Evans comes back, you have Igbuka. I believe Bucky Irving is is back this week as well. I know he was upgraded to questionable as opposed to out. If they have Bucky Irving and Rashad White back, I think the Bucks could take this one pretty easily. And I mean the 49ers are literally the walking handicap sign at this point. So I truly believe the Bucks could end up taking this one and taking this one pretty handily at home.
Yeah, it could be another shootout. I mean, it's at the NFL. We just never know how the week goes. We could have another fantastic weekend, which we hope, the glorious weekend. So we'll see how this goes this week with the Bucks and 49ers. I'm taking the Bucks. It's big one Sunday night. I think this could kind of determine at least can't one team season. It is the Chiefs and the Lions. The Lions are coming off another win over the Bengals. The Chiefs coming off a loss. This could determine a lot for the Chiefs in this one if they go down and go 2-4 to begin the season. Do they get off the schneid? I don't know, Mark. Who do you got?
I think it's a tough one because you got the Chiefs kind of like you said, backs against the wall. I mean, their division I don't believe is overly strong at the moment. I know the Chargers kind of had a couple of losses and in a bye week recently, and they're dealing with some injuries and things like that. It's a tough one. I think the Lions honestly win. Still, the Lions are playing good football. They have weapons, and the Chiefs defense just hasn't looked like the Chiefs defense has in the past few years in their Super Bowl runs. I really think the Lions, uh, just the way they play, the style of football they play, beats Kansas City 9 out of 10 times, especially this version of the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't think Mahomes can save them for this one. I think the Lions win here.
I don't do it. This is a toss up. This is a toss up. I don't know. I don't know in this. I think I really don't know. I really don't know who to take.
You got
I'm
to
going.
make a pick, Kyle.
I'm going. I'm going. I'm going Chiefs. I think they're gonna bounce back. I'm going underdogs this weekend. I think underdog type of weekend. Bucks and Chiefs. Yeah, there's no way they go 2-4. If they go 2-4 in that division, but the Chargers are now struggling.
Yeah,
Denver now they're kind of so I don't know. I think that 2-4. I don't know. I'm thinking Chiefs. Chiefs will win it. They'll use their Chiefs magic. It's at home. I think they got the crowd behind them. They're gonna win because I just think their defense is gonna be upset. It's good. They get right back out there. They don't gotta wait, till Monday a week. They 6 days, boom, they're back. So
yeah.
I like the Chiefs in this one to get it done. So we'll move on. One more game. Bears and Washington. It's kind of an interesting game for playoff position and type of interesting offenses. I'm going with Washington. I just think without even know without you know what I'll strike that. I'm going Bears. I'm going Bears. If McLaurin doesn't play, it's gonna be very interesting, very hard for Washington. I like the Bears with their offense. They got Caleb Williams, DeAndre Swift, Dunze. It's very interesting. I like the Bears in this one.
I think I am. I've been kind of tossing up about it since we've talked about what games we were gonna go and pick. The Bears now. What's it called? Honestly, the Bears have weapons, but so do the Commanders. Still a little bit wary about Jaden Daniels' knee, but it also depends on what Caleb Williams you get at this point in time. I think I'm going to go with the Commanders based off the fact that Jane Daniels has been there before and he has already outperformed Caleb Williams up to this point. Caleb Williams has kind of been up and down with that new Ben Johnson offense and things of that nature. So I think I'm going to go Commanders in a close one.
Yeah, we'll see we'll see if they play with the with McLaurin. McLaurin still and he said he was gonna play, but then reports came out today he may not. He didn't even practice today, so that kind of might be a little scary for Washington fans and fantasy fans as well. So we'll see how that goes this week. We're gonna move on to let's do college football. But first, before we do college football, we got a couple shout outs to get to. As first, I want to give a big shout out to our guy Dennis. His birthday's coming up Sunday the 12th. And Dennis, you guys saw him on the show a couple weeks ago. He's a fantastic dude. He's a guy that will give you his shirt off the back to you, and he's one out there to cheer you up, to make you laugh, or just there for you. So Dennis, he's an amazing guy. So Dennis, happy birthday, my guy. You're a great father, a great friend, and you're always there. Great fantasy player. He's 5-0 in our league. Hard to believe with that. With Steve, they're both 5-0. Congratulations to being 5-0. But Dennis, happy birthday, my guy. Hope you enjoy it and enjoy your weekend celebrating. And one more, as parents' anniversary, as Tom and Anita are anniversary on Saturday. So I am.
Hey.
So I'm very blessed and grateful to have them as my parents, and they're one of a kind. So I love them so much. I hope they have a fantastic weekend, and I can't wait to see you guys soon. I love you guys so much. Happy anniversary. All right, we're going to move on to college football, and what a weekend it was. Mark, we'll give you the floor real quick because this wasn't really a game. Quick thought on Ohio State, Minnesota, because this was literally a blowout and really don't need to spend much time on it.
Yeah, I mean they handle business for sure. Sam looked good. Carnell Tate almost became the second receiver since JSN to have over 200 yards in a game. Even JJ had 2 touchdowns. They opened up the offense a little bit. It was good to see. Bo Jackson had another good game. So Ohio State handled business, and they got a tough one this week against Illinois. I'll be interested to see what they look like, and hopefully they keep the offensive playbook open and high flying, because you just have too many weapons to keep it simple at this point, especially the way Saban's been playing.
Yeah, we'll get into it this week. We'll get into that game in a little bit before we wrap up. Michigan defeated Wisconsin 24-10. A little sluggish for Michigan coming off the bye. And Underwood did look good, though. When they stopped the run, he came out, he had almost 300 yards in the air, which kind of propelled the team. Wisconsin has a good run defense, as Michigan tried to run it so many times, and they're stout. They're stout up front, and they're going to give. I don't know, but I know we're watching this game, Mark, and I think Fickle's trying to get fired. I seriously think he's trying to get fired.
At this point, yeah.
Like, you were down 2 possessions. You just scored, ran down the field and scored. I mean, granted, Michigan was playing backups at that time, but you score, you miss the onside kick, and then you don't call timeouts. You have 3 timeouts left. At least get the ball back. You never know what could happen. What are you doing? And everybody's just, even the announcers, Joel Claddy's like, why aren't they calling timeout? At least try to get the ball back. Like,
yeah, I don't.
What? Just laughable. Like, what are you doing?
Even some of these college coaches started off the weekend with some of these coaching blunders, and then it carried over. What's it called? All over into the NFL. I really didn't understand it, and at the same time, at the end of the day, I really don't know if he wants to be in Wisconsin anymore. I wouldn't want to either. The way that program is anymore. So I'll be trying to get out at any point in time, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, did you come back to Ohio? Do you come back to Ohio State? Manny P, once he does go back, I'm sure we know he's probably going to go back to the NFL at some point, like, for a coordinator spot. He's just, kind of restarting his career. And even Wink Martindale from Michigan, he's going to go a big, probably back to the NFL at some point, whether it be this year or next year, whenever he does. But it's be very interesting to see where those 2 guys end up. So Michigan plays UFC. We'll get into that a little bit later in the show. But one of the big stories of the week, I'm not even going to discuss it because I know, well, I will. But Mark, Penn State, UCLA, know where you're going.
Fire him. Fire James Franklin. not only did he lose a big game last weekend, but then you lose a game to an 0-4 team that uses all of their NIL money for one random quarterback. You got to get this guy out of here. You really got to get him out of here. He's terrible. I've been saying for years he's a terrible head coach. He's god awful. He's piss poor. You got to fire him. How do you lose to an 0-4 UCLA team that has looked horrible all season long? He walks in, and UCLA was crushing them. They made they made Nico look 300 times better than he did at any point in Tennessee last year, and he has less weapons at UCLA. It was an embarrassment, and honestly, he should have been fired on the spot. Left. He should have been left in the Coliseum. He should have never been allowed on the team playing. Just leave him there.
He looked better against UCLA or Penn State's defense than he did Ohio State's defense last year. Ohio State's defense wasn't really that good.
It makes no sense. They looked awful. It was like they just packed it up, and I don't even know what happened, but it's time for him to go. I've seen enough. He already can't win a big game. Now you lose to an 0-4 UCLA team, and not just lose, but I mean you get spanked all throughout the game. I understand they made a comeback a little bit later on in the game, but at the same time, I mean, like what are we doing? Why are we why are we at this point where we're losing to an 0-4 team that is horrendous ever since they've joined the Big Ten?
Yeah, and this is supposed to be their best team in 10+ years, and they just blow it. And now you're done. You got to run the table, and you still got Iowa coming up.
Yep.
You still got Indiana coming
Ohio
up.
State.
You still got Ohio State, and who knows if you get caught with Michigan State or Rutgers if they're not careful. I mean, now they're beatable.
Michigan State's still a sleeper team. I know they've played bad football here and there, but they've also won some games and looked good in some games that they weren't supposed to.
Yeah, but now teams can beat you. Now you're going Drew Aller. He stinks. He don't even bring him. Brown shouldn't even look at him.
I hope not. All he's got is the measurables. He's got the size. He's got decent arm talent, but when it comes to, I think somebody said it over the weekend. Maybe it was on game day. I can't really remember. But at the end of the day, he has the measurables, but he doesn't have the IQ. He just doesn't have the football IQ to get it done in these big games, let alone in games where he's supposed to shine. And I just don't get it. He took a step back this year, and he probably should have came out last year. Quite honestly, I understand the reason why he came back, but at this point, it's looking like he made a bad decision.
And UCLA just fired their coach 2 weeks before. They're playing with an interim coach.
Isn't their OC like 30 years old? He's like the youngest OC in college sports right now.
Yeah, he's like he looked Tom Allen. I don't know that Tom Allen.
It was. I was sitting there in awe watching them just get destroyed and get shredded by basically one guy.
Okay, you beat Northwestern. Congratulations. You beat If you beat Northwestern. Congrats. Then you got to go to Iowa. And Iowa, you play Kinnick 7:00 kickoff. That you play Iowa at night. You just never know. You get that Iowa voodoo, Iowa magic, and you just never know what happens at Kinnick at 7 at night when you're on the road, especially when no one thinks. So I don't know. Penn State. I think their season's done. Let's talk about another team that season is done. Texas loses to Florida 29-21, and they're pretty much done unless they run the table. They got Oklahoma this week. I believe they got Georgia coming up.
I think so, yeah. And I mean, I think all that Arch Manning high school tape is coming back up and resurfacing, and you can tell why he's playing as bad as he is. I don't get it. He had all this hype, he had all this wherewithal, and at the end of the day, I mean, he has completely and totally just fell off the face of the earth. He looks awful week in and week out, and Sark's got to do something. He has to do something to salvage this team at this point in time.
Yeah. Let's think of it this way. The number 1 and number 2 to preseason out of the rankings for the first time, and that's got to be like something in history. That's just wild. And Florida was getting ready to fire their coach, and now he wins. Now he's back in at least for probably the rest of the season, unless he gets embarrassed the rest of the way. Because they still got Florida State coming. Now Florida State lost too, so that probably game might mean just for in-state bragging rights at this point, unless Florida State starts making another run. It was a weird week, and I think this
Yep.
week's be even weirder because even Vandy got kind of slaughtered by Bama. Bama
Yep.
came back and took them to the woodshed as Vandy kind of stuck around. They're going to be hanging around, but like they're out of the conversation. They don't have the firepower to come back and make a run. So they got LSU coming up along, and I think they got Georgia. I'm not sure. I'm not mistaken, but. I think Vandy's done. Bama's right there now. They control their own destiny. You think Bama, Oklahoma, and Georgia favorites to get an SEC title game. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't really understand what transpired this weekend. Like, I don't know why it went from. I mean, even we talked about it last week and the beginning of this week. This weekend looked like such a stale slate, all things considered. It ended up being one of the most crazy weekends in what's it called, in college football, and I'm it's crazy.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a very interesting type of game. Our weekend this weekend, we got some juicy matchups, especially in the Big Ten. This is pretty moving week in the Big Ten. Pretty much, you got two ranked versus ranked, and you got one that's ranked versus a competitive team. So let's start with big noon Saturday in Illinois, Ohio State, Illinois. Mark, we probably know where you're going, but who are you taking and why?
I am taking obviously
National.
Ohio State. I think the offense is just rolling too. What's it called? Offense is rolling too good. Saying starting to look better. You have a good running game. And at the end of the day, I think Illinois. They already showed you that when they play a team that's at least in the same caliber, if not higher, when they played Indiana. I mean, they didn't even show up. They just got destroyed. Now think about what Ohio State's going to do to them. What Matt Patricia can do to Altmaier. I think at the end of the day, Ohio State could run away with this. I do know that Illinois is at home, but at the same time, I think Ohio State comes in and dominates. They play behind their defense, and they have. I mean, our running game is getting better and better every week. I think Bo Jackson has solidified himself as that number one running back, and I think they win pretty handily.
Yeah, I think this will be a tight game because you Brett Bielema, they're gonna pull it off. This is their Super Bowl. This is Illinois' chance because if they lose this, they're pretty much out of the Big Ten conversation, probably playoff conversation for this year after having high hopes to getting into the season. So this is gonna be a very interesting. I think at least half, maybe a little more going into the third. But I think Ohio State pull away at some point. I like Ohio State probably by a touchdown, maybe 10. But don't be surprised if Illinois hangs around that Brett Bielema team. He'll give you all the fits, especially when this is pretty much their season's on the line. So, and Mark, I know you sound a little more confident than you did, but you even told me the other day you're still a little nervous if they let Illinois hang around, especially when they're at home.
Yeah, they're definitely still nerve wracking. You could find yourself in a bit of a hole, but at the same time, you can't. What's it called? You can't sleep on them. You can't play. You can't sleepwalk. You can't play scared. But I am more confident at the end of the day when it comes to Ohio State after seeing in the past couple of weeks what the offenses look like and grown into, and I think I'm a lot more confident this week than I was in weeks past. And at the end of the day, I think they win this one pretty handily.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure. Did Nicole get blocked? I'm not sure. Aaron, hold on. Uh, we'll go with Bama, Missouri. This is an interesting game. It's an interesting game. I like Bama in this one. I think Bama's going to take it. I think Missouri just going to be running out of smoke. They had their shot last year. I just think Bama is going to run out, and I think Bama's just going to roll them. I think they're going to go to Missouri and win this one.
Yeah, I agree. I know Missouri's played good football. We talked about it before. I think what's their quarterback's name? Prabula, however you say it. At the end of the day, he's played good football, but I think Ty Simpson and Bama, whatever they found, I believe they had that bye week, and then they played Georgia after they scored that 70-point cupcake game. After that, they kind of got things rolling, and really started to really find their rhythm. I think I'm in the same boat as you when it comes to it. I think Missouri, and if I'm not mistaken, Missouri has played in a couple of close games where it's been back and forth. They've had to win some shootouts, if I'm not mistaken, and you could correct me if I'm wrong there. But yeah, they have. I don't know. I don't think they have enough in the tank to beat Bama, especially while they're rolling.
Yeah, I think Bama's gonna roll away roll away with this one. Let's go big one out west for in the Big Ten. This is kind of the Big Ten championship aspirations. Indiana versus Oregon. This is kind of will dictate who kind of is the front runner to get into the Big Ten title game. Um, Mark, who do you got and why?
It's kind of a toss up for me. I do like Oregon. I think I like the way Oregon played. Dante Moore is up there for the Heisman favorite, especially now that Mateer has been hurt. I think Oregon showed they can play in big games and they can do big things. They have weapons. They have a good defense, and they have a young defensive line that can get after the quarterback. I think Oregon wins, but I mean, don't sleep on Indiana. That quarterback Mendoza, I believe, the older Mendoza. I know they have both brothers there, and Signetti. Signetti's obviously as confident as they come, and we all know what he said the other what was that last year when it comes to um, ranked opponents or big opponents. Obviously, being on a TikTok live, I don't believe we can say that here, but we all know what he said. You guys can run the clip and find the clip on your own. When he was talking to Coach Saban last year on game day. Obviously, we know how that turned out, but they're still a sleeper team, and they put it on Illinois not that long ago. So don't sleep on Signetti. Don't sleep on Indiana, and don't let him what's it called? Don't let him into stay in the game too long because he's a good coach and he gets those players fired up no matter what.
Yeah, I like Oregon. The way they went into Penn State, the way they went into score to scorch them pretty much, and then almost let them back in the game to go to double overtime. But I think Oregon's gonna. I'm very impressed with Don Timor. The calmness. I didn't think they would have calmness going into that game, especially Don Timor going into that environment. Hasn't played anybody. So Aaron, thank you. But I like Oregon in this one. Give me Oregon close. I think I think Oregon's gonna win. Is this a game Indiana kind of falls off? I don't know. This is gonna be tough. This, it's gonna be tough, but I'm going Oregon. I think Oregon is gonna take this. So we're gonna move on to Michigan and USC. Michigan, this is a big one. This is another big game in the Big Ten. Pretty much that could determine a lot in the Big Ten and college football playoff race. I've been going back and forth. It all depends on Michigan's secondary because if they play the way they did against Nebraska, I think it's gonna be a long day for them. Now Michigan has learned from the Oklahoma game. They got out of the playbook a little bit into a bigger playbook for Bryce Underwood. I think their offense is gonna be fine. It's just a matter of who if their secondary gets better. They got tested a little bit last week against Wisconsin, but I think I think they're gonna come. They're gonna be more relaxed because Wisconsin really threw the ball, and the only thing that worries me, the
Yeah.
only time they threw the ball downfield, was away with a pass interference. So I think I don't know. I think Michigan wins. It could be a Nebraska type game, 30-27 type game, one score game. USC doesn't have a good run defense, so Michigan run the ball, let Bryce Underwood breathe for a little bit. But if Michigan secondary does not improve from that Nebraska game, I think it gets to them. But I think Michigan wins by a field goal or maybe even less, depending on what happens.
I don't know. I think Michigan might run away with this. I know they have Sharon Moore back, which is nobody's really talking about when it comes to just Michigan as a whole. I understand that they're not crazy on people's radar, which I really don't understand. They've played good football up to this point for the most part. I think Michigan could potentially run away with this, especially when it comes to that freshman quarterback. I'm kind of waiting for him. I understand he's played good football for the most part, but at the same time, I'm waiting for him to kind of fall back, especially in one of these big games. I think it's coming, and when it comes to USC, you hit on it. They have a really bad run defense. Michigan's running back, I believe his name's Haynes, right? He was a Heisman
That's his name,
frontrunner at
yeah.
one point early in the season, based off the fact that he's ran all over everyone. So I think they give him a heavy dose of their run. They control the game. They control the game clock. And as long as their defense keeps everything in front of them, Moore is a good big game coach. I've said it many a times. Even though I hate to admit it, I do think that what's it called? I think he's a big game coach. I think the defense shows up. I think at the end of the day, Michigan probably wins by 10. I think they win by 10. I think at the end of the day, when it comes to working on their play action passing game and everything else, I think Moore will have that defense ready to go. I see Michigan winning by 10, potentially even more, and I think they control the game clock, and that's going to be more important than anything. And I think Haynes breaks a couple, and they start to run away with this one.
Yeah, I don't. It depend. Like I said, it's going to depend on their secondary. Their secondaries, that's what questionable because they had a
And USC
Wisconsin
does have
checked down the
weapons
whole.
on the outside. I will give them that.
Yeah, but every receiver. I was watching him against Michigan State. He could ball out, or against Illinois too. He had
Yeah.
a number one guy who couldn't even drop a ball, but he was. If Michigan State, because Wisconsin drawing checkdowns with their third string quarterback, and the only time they got contested, it was a pass interference that got missed. So it's that's what kind of scares me if they throw down the field. We'll see what goes. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I agree, Mackay Smith. I agree that it's kind of suspect right now, and if they don't get it, I'll feel more comfortable if they get it fixed by Ohio State. I mean, we can't worry about Ohio State. We got a lot in front of us, but the secondary scares me this week. Now, if they could kind of struggle, then I think if they could kind of not struggle, I think they're going to win. So we'll see how it goes this coming week. So, and one more, we got a big one up, kind of Big 12 implications. Arizona State and Utah, as Utah's coming off a loss to Texas, actually a win, and Arizona State coming off a win. These are two teams hoping to get back in the Big Ten title race. Mark, who do you like and why?
I don't know. I started the year really liking Arizona State. They have that receiver Jordan Tyson, who has looked just like the hype that everyone has given him. At the same time, I don't. Their quarterback play is kind of taking a step back, in my personal opinion. He hasn't played as good as I think everyone thought. Everyone thought he would take the jump. They're obviously missing that running game pretty heavy. Utah has had a couple of big shootout games again this year, even though they're a gritty team. I think I'm still going to take Utah just based off the fact that they're a little bit.
Yeah.
I like their coach a little bit better. I believe Arizona State coach is the same coach that literally this offseason was saying how essentially he was or their team was you know a bunch of donkeys in the offseason. If you catch what I'm saying there, I know we're on TikTok live, so we're trying to not get any strikes or anything like that. But they were saying they were playing real bad, and at the end of the day, I think um, yeah, I think Utah's just too gritty, and their coaching is going to be too good.
Yeah, I'm going Utah. They have that coach that if he gets them geared up for every single game, whether they're like 5-7, 6-6, or 13-1, they're in it to the end. And I like Utah. I think as I was kind of down Arizona State coming into the season, and they're surprising me, but I think they're going to go in Utah. It's a night game. I like Utah. Give me Utah Utes, maybe
Yeah.
by 7+. If Utah could play the way they did against Texas Tech, granted, tighten up their defense, I think they're going to win comfortably. And who knows? That should be a good game. It's a good slate all around on both sides of the pro and college level, as we are very excited to watch it all unfold. So let's go to a little bit before we wrap up. Let's go a little bit UFC. It was kind of an interesting type of night as we want to give a shot to Steve. 4-1 on his picks. How about that, y'all? Steve
Yeah.
was 4-1 on his pick.
Yeah, Steve was on
And
fire.
he's on fire, and he even said he's not jinxing. He's coming back in January to preview UFC just to do a great just to do picks and preview for UFC. So let's talk Pereira and Ankalaev, Mark. This was really not much to talk about. Pereira came out swinging, and down goes Ankalaev, and Pereira's your new champ.
Yeah, I mean he. I guess in my personal opinion, he kind of showed essentially what all he was talking about leading up into this fight. that there was injuries, that he wasn't 100%, that that Ankalaev had nothing for him because he pretty much sprinted out, laid him out, and got him up out of there quick. He made short work of him, and I know I wasn't expecting it. I know Kyle, you weren't as well. I was expecting at least anywhere between a three to a 4 round decision fight, and at the end of the day, what what happened was he just walked right through him, and I wasn't expecting that. Ankalaev was on his back foot instantly, and after that, I mean, it was lights out in literally under 90 seconds. So
Yeah,
it
that
was
was
shocking to
wild.
me, but he put it on and put him on him fast, and those 12-6 elbows, they served him well, to say the least.
Yeah, and Chama showed up, and he even said Pereira said he didn't want to go back into the tire shop. So Chama wins and takes down Pereira. So we're gonna move on, as these were really kind of fights that kind of went quick. So there wasn't really much to talk about in these fights. The only fight that was, I think, maybe the boring fight of the night we'll get is Marab and Sandhagen, as Marab
Yeah,
did win the defeat. Good first and second round, but then after that, it's Marab did what Marab does, control the fight, and kind of just was a boring type of fight. So we got there. Sandhagen, he lasted, he put up a fight, but Marab is showing why he defeated O'Malley and is the champ of that division.
yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, we talked about it originally. His striking got a lot better. We obviously know he was going to control the wrestling and everything else, but he hurt Corey a couple times on the striking. I thought he was going to get him out of there. I can't remember what early round it was, but he was what's it called? I mean, at the end of the day, he looked like he could have got him out of there. I thought he really was. Sandhagen was never really the same after that. And I mean, by the time he just got overwhelmed, I think there was some. I think Marab was close to a record or something like that for either takedowns attempted or takedowns landed for the entire fight. I don't know who I don't even know who fights him at this point, and who can even give him a
Yeah, we
challenge
don't.
because you have to have an insane gas tank to even stay with him.
Yeah, and Marab, he ground and pound control, and that's all you can do. And it's very interesting to see who does fight next, because coming up is a couple big pay per views. Does he get one of those cards? He said he wanted to fight later in the month by December, so we'll see if Dana obliges to that. We may not. Just depends on where he goes from there, but we'll see down the road. Another fight, as expected, quick fight. Yusulev Zala defeated Josh Emmett in a submission. Zala in a submission, as expected. Verbal submit by Emmett, and that was really a fight. It was a good card on paper, Mark, but the results were just there.
Yeah, I was confused even what happened. Like they kind of just stopped, and I didn't hear the verbal tap until I think the desk was talking about it. It was really weird to me. I know he got him in a pretty hard position pretty quick, and pretty much just dominated the fight. But I agree, it was a very, for the most part, it was a very weird and a very quick main card. And I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't know. Josh Emmett didn't look like he belonged. He's washed at this point, and I don't know. He yeah, the card was very weird, and again, shout out to Steve because he picked pretty much the whole entire
Yes,
main card
Steve.
right. He was on fire, and yeah, I didn't expect the card to go like that and be as quick as it was.
Yeah, and this is a fight, and Steve called it. This was the fight of the night, as Jiri defeated Roundtree, and Roundtree looked like he had that fight won going into the third round, later third round, and Yuri TKO out of nowhere. That is, we thought, whoo, Steve, good calling that, Steve. I don't even know. Yuri just it looked like he was playing possum until that third round. He's like, all right, now he had him. It was, whoo.
Yeah, I mean, Roundtree came out swinging, and I thought Roundtree was going to get him out of there, and like he was dominating the fight, and it almost looked. I couldn't really tell if I couldn't tell if he just gassed out or if he like realized that he wasn't going to what's it called? Like I don't really know if it was like it looked like he got tired, but at the same time he also started to realize like he wasn't going to knock Yuri out no matter how hard he hit him. Like he was hitting him with speed, he
Yeah.
was hitting him with power, he was hitting him with everything, and Yuri was still there doing his weird moves and everything like that, and ends up TKOing him. I was pretty surprised, but especially because Roundtree looked like he was about to dominate from from the first bell, and then all of a sudden Yuri takes him out. So I don't it was definitely interesting to me. You would have thought like it was a tale of basically two halves of that fight, and basically and Yuri gets it done, and then you see him crying at the end of the Alex fight because he knows he's getting another shot at him.
Yeah, that's gonna be a very interesting fight. We'll see when they get that card. But yeah, so it is a fight of the night, and Dana did the right thing giving a fight of the night as yeah, he did. He looked good up until that last fight or that last couple minutes. Steve, he took major damage, and Yuri just like came out. Maybe that ponytail was getting in his way at some point. That
He
kind
didn't have a
of now his
ponytail.
new
His head was shaved.
no. I'm talking about new look, new him.
Oh
No
yeah, okay,
ponytail.
yeah. I mean,
That looked very.
he's been dusting guys, and I think it builds for a good fight between him and Alex because you've seen Alex kind of get hurt. Maybe Yuri tries to take him down. I don't really know,
Yeah.
but Yuri seemed to definitely at the end of that be happy to have a chance to have the fight back. I mean, he was sitting there crying his eyes out, which was confusing to me, but he's sitting there crying his eyes out, ready for I believe it was what was it? It'll be their third fight, I believe, right?
Yeah, and it could be the trilogy. The trilogy. Got some funny comments. You guys are amazing doing these comments. I know you're kind of trolling and all that, but it's very fun. We love these comments. Or I don't know how Mark's just locked in right now. I gotta get more locked in. I'm sorry, Mark. You're carrying the team today, I guess, but
Hey, man.
yeah, we're doing that. So, but no, and then no, Joe Pfeiffer defeated as we called a bust as Pfeiffer
A
submitted
bust.
a boost. Much it, and it was we kind of knew Pfeiffer's been the dog these past couple fights he's had, and a boost was
Yep.
So Pfeiffer wins, Mark, in submission.
Pfeiffer, again, he looked good. I mean, when he's down and out, I know wasn't he the story that like he was, uh, what wasn't he like homeless and in the UFC or in the UFC like
Yeah,
gave him a house and everything else. So, I mean, at the end of
we
the
got
day,
breaking news. Hold on, we got breaking news.
I don't know.
Do we got breaking news, y'all? Hold on. We're on the live. Is this news? Let's see. We got comments saying we've been traded. We're trying to look it up. It's just very interesting if this happens, especially. Let's see. Do we know who we got in return? It's not coming up. Hold on. I'm trying. Is there any news? Not. Who do we trade? Who's trying to see here? Maybe get Trevor Lawrence. Is he really? So hold on here. Of course, I have my other phone down here with me, so I'm trying to just play this song. So okay, so apparently we don't know. We're trying to find this out. Mark's trying to find this out for us.
Yeah, I'm trying to
That
look also, and I can't.
As Greg Newsome of the Cleveland Browns has been traded. Who reported it? Which one reported it? Because we're trying to figure this out. We're trying to get an instant reaction real quick, but Tyson Campbell. That's what happens. Live show. We were hoping for this.
Yeah, I don't
Yes.
see it anywhere. Let's see.
Tyson Campbell. So.
I mean, that would be interesting if that is true, based off the fact that Emerson's still hurt, and I mean, we did talk about it in the beginning of the year, though. I believe he's on a contract year. Newsom is, so I mean, it would make a little bit of sense.
Yeah, I'm trying to find this out. I'm trying to see. So we don't want to make reaction
Yeah.
to There's still nothing unless I'm not. Or it's not coming up, but so we're trying to find this out before we go off the air with you all because we're trying to see 'Cause I don't have my second device with me. But so you know what? Nothing's coming up. Yeah, and the fun I use it on recording, so I don't want to go off the thing with it. Yeah, we got nothing. We're trying to.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is, right here. Yep, here we go. We got it right here. If it comes up, I don't know if it's gonna come up though. Hold on, I think it's just trying to scroll. Don't want to try to go
Let's
off
see.
air. So, all right, here we go. The Jaguars and the Browns are making a trade. Tyson Campbell to Cleveland for Greg Newsome. So, that's very interesting. Browns. So this is pretty much Browns are waving a white flag on this year, and it's gonna be very interesting what they do. If this is the last kind of year for
Do you
AB,
really
and
do you really think that's him waving the white flag though? Newsom has really only played nickel for
I
us, all
get
things considered. I mean, even with Emerson out, he hasn't played um, much single corner. I mean, at the same time though, who else were you
that's
going
the
to trade?
best
He's in a
corner though.
contract year, and you have what's it called? You have who was that other rookie that was from Northwestern that we drafted as well? Um,
Oh, I know what you're
Mitchell
talking about.
maybe,
Yeah,
and he
I don't
hasn't
know.
been very good. So, I mean, I could understand trading him to get something. I'm not. I can't tell if that's waving the white flag
I
or if
rather
they just are trying to get something done. I'm not too sure.
I rather had traded Ward than Newsom, for being honest. Try to sign Newsom back. I don't I don't know. This is very interesting. A lot to digest here, but it just sounds like I don't know. This is Cleveland being done. And it could just be the last few trades Andrew Berry makes in the front office, as the deadline is coming up. November 4th, I believe, is what it is. So, just bear with us, y'all. Sorry for the delays. We were trying to get all the news breaks. This is what we kind of hope for: get news break on a show and trying to
Yeah, and
go
I mean, well,
head.
and for Jacksonville, what does that mean for them? Because at the end of the day, when what's it called? I believe there are reports that were saying that Travis Hunter was still working on and still working to even get to that corner spot. So I wonder if he just doesn't start to play strictly receiver here for the rest of the year. Now that they have Newsom, I mean, why else would you trade for him other than that you like where he's at? So the Browns have traded Newsom and Jet.
Flacco. I think Schwartz is going to be out of here, Aaron. He's going to be out of here pretty soon. He'll find a new coaching job, which I hope. He needs to get out of this. That's the coach I feel bad for is him. I feel bad for him because he's in this spot. He's doing all he can to keep these teams in games, and Stefanski and the offense is doing nothing to help him. So Schwartz, go get out of here. Just get this off season. Get out of here. Go and do your thing. I
Yeah.
don't know if does he want to take that job? He knows what's going on behind that team. He knows what's going on behind closed doors. Does he really want to stay here? He's that kind of coach that I think would not want to listen to the front office. Like, I want to do things my way. And that
Well,
I
and
no,
he's
I
already
don't
head
know.
coached a bad team before when he head coached the Lions.
Yeah. So I don't does he want to stay? Does he not want to? I don't know. So very interesting to see how this goes. Again, Greg Newsome traded to Jacksonville for Tyson Campbell. So I guess we'll see how Tyson. We'll see if they both play this Sunday. You would
Yeah,
think they're both
and
healthy.
he just signed a 4-year extension before that trade too. So I mean, he'll be here for a while, all things considered.
So hey, thank you Newsome for everything. Well, you played well. Thank you for giving all you got to Cleveland. Best of luck. Hey, go win in the playoffs. Win it. Go if you get to the playoffs. Hats off to you.
Yeah.
Go enjoy your better situation compared to and deep down, everybody's probably like. It's probably like every time Joe's probably
Yeah,
like, thank
good for
God.
him.
Newsom's like, oh, thank God he's out of there. Yeah, good for him and better situation right now. So we'll see how that goes. We love him. I think it's our first news, bro. Well, no, I actually pick it, but that was right before the show. This is actually on the air. We're
Yeah,
going to hop off. And
that was our
so this is
first
what
one
happened.
live, so to speak. Other than yeah, I think that is the first one.
Yeah, and this was a fun show, an hour and a half, y'all. So this is what it's gonna be like when we get to a new or TikTok live on Sundays, starting the first Sunday in November. This is what it's gonna be. We're gonna recap the week, any news that comes, and then the recorded shows on Wednesdays are gonna be more newsworthy. We'll catch up on news like this, and we'll talk, give our discussions, and give our
Yep.
previews rather than reviews, which our reviews will be come Sundays. So we thank you all for coming, Alex, everybody that's been in here trolling and all that. We appreciate it. It's been fun. It's been fun hanging out with you all in the live fans section, live comments. We enjoyed it. So it's been fun. So as we do this, as we all want to say thank you from bottom of my heart, no, I can speak for Mark. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yep.
As we all say, be a friend. Tell a friend something nice. It just might change your life in the most miraculous way. You don't even know. Football is great. Sports is great. Enjoy it in the moment, folks. I'm Kyle. He's Mark. We will see you next time on The Final Whistle.